All right, 3, 2, 1, and we are back. So you did it. Module 1 is now in the books. See, it wasn't so hard after all. I knew you could get through that week. So here we go again, another module, and let's talk just a minute about that article that you completed in the discussion forum. You know, it's basically trying to defend or present positions of why in the world what you're going to study this semester actually matters. And so I would think within that article, and so many of you hit on it, I want to mention one thing. And I'm going to read it directly from the article for you, where the author says, "The humanities are subversive. They undermine the claims of all authorities, whether political, religious, or scientific. The skepticism is especially important when it comes to claims about humanity, about who we are, about what we are, where we came from, and even what we can be and what we should be." You know, we're taught in general to conform our thinking, but we don't need to be conformists. You're out of high school, you're moving into college, and as you move into adulthood, we need people to challenge current thinking on all topics, not accept what the political parties, and I do mean both political parties, what they attempt to feed us, to challenge the status quo on all things. You know, I don't want to go too much into it here on the video because I've already talked about critical thinking so much in that first week's podcast, but I appreciate your responses. I appreciate how you dug out the key concepts from there. So with that being said, let me move on to grading. So grading, my goal is always to have it done within 48 hours. Usually you're going to see that first set of grades show up within 24 hours after the deadline passes. You know, pay attention when that comes through. I will give you feedback commentary on the discussion forums, and, you know, look again at the rubric, pay attention to that, because I want you and I to be on exactly the same page of the expectations, because the key thing is that you and I understand exactly the expectations. If we both get what this is all about, then you'll just start pushing out A after A after A, and it'll just become second nature for you. The content's going to change, but the format stays the same. Now, at the same time, I know I will get this question, so I'm going to answer it before you even have a chance to ask it. So A students tend to ask me this: what's the deal? I got a 98.75%. What in the world happened with that other quarter percentage point? You know, why wasn't it a perfect score? So perfect, what does that even mean? Perfect means without flaw, without error, without any defects whatsoever. That's a perfect score. So in a term, I may only give, you know, I mean, in a given week, I might only give 2 to 3 of those. It just depends. But when you get a perfect score, that means at the end of it, I'm like, wow, that was great. That was almost above and beyond. There were no grammatical errors. You answered the question very well. You provided great detail. You looked at your peer responses. You provided specific, exact feedback on parts of their post. And then you can get a perfect score. I think the main thing you want to shoot for is to get to 95% or above. Because if you do that, you're hitting that exceptional category. And if you hit the exceptional category every week on your assignments, then surely you're going to earn an A for the semester. So that's the difference between a exceptional score, meeting all the standards, and a perfect score. So with that being said, we are moving on to Module 2. And that is due this coming Sunday, September the 6th. Remember, if you did miss one or both of the assignments from week number 1, you can still turn them in. As the late work policy states, you get up to 14 days after the deadline passes to turn it in, and the penalty is only 15%. It is always, every time better to turn something in late for partial credit than take a 0. Zeros can really hurt you in the long run. So really try to avoid those at all cost, okay? So with that, great job week 1. Very impressed with the work. Keep it up. We're just getting started with this, but you know, don't let that momentum slow. And if you started slow, there's tons of time, still plenty of time to earn an A in the class. So if you are behind, just jump right in and get going. So with that, good luck with your work this week. Have a safe, a productive, and a wonderful week. And we shall talk again in the next video. Take care.